Welcome to Blind Abilities. I'm Jeff Thompson. Emergency SOS, the new feature added to the iPhone 14 series, has been ignited. It's been lit up across the skies. The satellites have been activated. Whoa, satellite. Thanks, Apple, and I really mean that because there's so many features now in the Emergency SOS section that gives me a little peace of mind that I'm doing the best I can for having identification. It's not just a tag someone's wearing around their neck or an identification bracelet. Now it seems like there's some useful information that first responders can get even if I'm not able to give them that information. And this is information that they can receive from your health app, your Medical I.D. You can set that up. And what's really neat is they put a tag on your settings. It seems like there's a new update or something. And when you open up your settings, go right down and it starts talking about Emergency SOS. So you open that up and it has a series of screens that you can go through, next, continue, that type of thing, that will tell you exactly how to set this up and bring you right to the resources, right to the pages to actually do that. So within a few minutes, you can have it set up and feel a little bit more secure knowing that your Medical I.D., the best you can do to offer up in case a situation happens, and hopefully nothing like that ever needs to be done, right? And after you go through these 4 or 5 prompts, then the last thing is the Emergency SOS satellite connection. So let's say there's an emergency and you do an emergency call, yet you get no response. A button will pop up and boom, you can connect up to a satellite. And when you demo the Emergency SOS Satellite Connect, it's accessible. VoiceOver walks through with you. You have to touch the screen on some areas and stuff, feel around, but keeping it aimed at the sky, it allows you to get some feedback. I'm talking some good directions, like go left, go right, keep it right there, that type of thing. For the first time this being released, Apple did a great job at accessibility. Yes, a button or two could be labeled better. The navigation could improve a bit, a tweak, but hey, out of the box, right off the shelf, and into your phone, Emergency SOS by satellite is a game changer. I, as a member of the blind, visually impaired community, feel included. So let's dig in. First of all, when I went to settings, it said one item. So I thought there was an update. So I double tapped on it and I went down a couple swipes and there's a message about Emergency SOS. So I tapped on that. And this brought me to a series of pages, next, continue, then you're done, where I can set up my entire Medical I.D. I can allow the sharing of my Medical I.D. and I can allow the sharing of my Medical I.D. while on lock screen. Now, if you think about that, that's a good thing to do because you don't want to be there having someone giving you a CPR and then them trying to ask for your passcode or your fingerprint or your look into the screen, Face ID, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Consider setting up your Medical I.D. and going through this process. But if you want to just go to settings and go down to Emergency SOS, that's what you do. Go to settings, single finger double tap, and swipe on down to
Emergency SOS button,
single finger double tap,
Emergency SOS heading.
And there's some other features in the Emergency SOS like crash detection or how do you make an emergency phone call. And let's swipe through this.
Press and hold the side button and either volume button to make an emergency call. In certain regions, you may need to specify an emergency service to dial. Auto call requires a SIM card. Call with hold off. If you press and hold the side and volume buttons, the Emergency SOS slider appears. If you continue to hold them, a countdown begins and an alert sounds. When the countdown ends, iPhone calls emergency services.
I have this option turned off because I opted for the next option.
Call with 5 presses on. Rapidly pressing the side button 5 times starts a countdown and sounds an alert. When the countdown ends, iPhone calls emergency services. Countdown sound on. Play a warning sound while Emergency SOS is counting down to call emergency services.
I know. If you accidentally set off your emergency call, that countdown's going to be pretty nerve-wracking.
Crash detection heading. Call after severe crash on.
Unfortunately, this has already proven to work, so it's probably good to have.
If you're in a car crash, iPhone can automatically call emergency services. iPhone will start a countdown and sound an alarm before the call. iPhone cannot detect all crashes. Emergency contacts heading. You can add and edit emergency contacts for Emergency SOS in your Medical I.D. in the Health app.
It's a really good thing to do. Go into your Health app and put in some emergency contacts and their phone numbers.
About Emergency SOS and privacy, link.
And you can click on this and learn all about the privacy and more about the Emergency SOS. But right now, we're going into the Emergency SOS demo.
iPhone can help start a satellite connection to contact emergency services when a call won't go through. Emergency SOS via satellite, heading. Try demo, button. Satellite connection demo, heading. About satellite connection, heading.
Now, for the purpose of the demonstration, I moved around the screen so it would speak everything that pops up. By swiping right and left, it doesn't seem to navigate as well. It'll go to the next button easy enough, but it skips some information that's in there. So be sure when you're doing your demo or when you're really using this to touch the screen and feel around. That's when you hear that. That's me moving my finger around on the screen.
iPhone can help in an emergency when a call won't go through. After dialing emergency services, a button will appear to start a satellite connection. Next, button. Answering emergency questions, heading. During an emergency, you'll answer emergency questions that can help you get the assistance you need faster. Next, button. Test satellite connection, button. Using a satellite to send and receive messages, heading. To test the satellite connection, make sure you're outside. Your cellular connection will be temporarily turned off during the demo. Test satellite connection, button. Alert. Temporarily turn off cellular to test satellite connection. iPhone won't be able to make calls or connect to the internet while testing satellite connection. Turn off, button. Try to get a clear view of the sky. Terrain, buildings or trees can block connection. Satellite available soon.
So after I made sure I was outside, I took my phone, I was holding it at about a 45-degree angle towards the sky, like halfway up. And then I started turning a little bit, and all of a sudden I started getting some feedback from the phone, and I just listened to what it was saying. And I kept moving a little bit, here, there.
To keep pointing at satellite, turn right to find satellite. Keep pointing at satellite.
Now when it says keep pointing at satellite, that means the satellite has found me. I found the satellite. One way or the other, I'm in the zone. So that's when I tell myself, Jeffrey, stay still.
Keep pointing at satellite to send and receive. Track the satellite across the sky to send and receive messages. This can take a few minutes. Keep pointing at satellite to send and receive. Preparing demo of Emergency SOS. Emergency SOS demo. Lost or trapped. Information sent. Emergency questionnaire. Medical I.D. Location. Sending, ellipsis.
So that's pretty great. My medical ID and location has just been sent.
This is an example conversation with emergency services. Type whatever you want, and you'll receive example responses. Dispatchers will often ask you to describe your location. Be brief, but descriptive. For example, East Canyon Highway, near mile marker 43. Empty line.
So this is where I'm going to type in or dictate my message.
Inserted freely near the Mississippi River. Arrow up circle, button. This is an example conversation with emergency services. Turn right to find satellite.
I like that it reminds me that I must remain focused and keep pointing towards the satellite.
Turn right to stay connected to satellite. Dispatchers will ask several questions to get you the right help. Answer one question at a time, as clearly as possible. Here's another example you can respond to. Emergency message example. Can you tell what caused the breakdown? Empty line. Inserted car has flipped over. Arrow up circle, button. Answering the dispatcher's questions helps prepare first responders to assist you when they arrive. Try to stay calm. Emergency message example. Are there any gas or other fluid leaks? Inserted no. Arrow up circle, button. Dispatchers will often give instructions, or help you perform basic first aid. If you have to move to a safe location or assist someone else, remember that you'll need to align your iPhone with a satellite to send or receive new messages. Here's one last example. Emergency message example. Move to a safe distance to wait for responders. If you have water, take it with you. End demo, button.
Now, in between these three questions, it probably took around 15 to 20 seconds for me to get any feedback from the satellite. So you have to be patient. It's understandable, and it was pretty cool. And believe me, my dog was wondering what the heck I was doing. My overall opinion on the accessibility with the Emergency SOS feature found in the iPhone 14s from Apple, I love it. I think it's great. I would like to see a little more swiping capabilities instead of moving my finger around on the screen to find a couple things. But for the most part, it automatically speaks as I'm moving around trying to find the satellite, navigate the skies looking for a satellite. And it seems to be pretty well built. For the first time out, I love it. And now, I'm going to get back on the grid.
Alert. Your cellular service has been turned back on.
Sweet.
Okay, button.
Jeff, you forgot to take out the garbage.
Yeah, back on the grid.
When we share
what we see
through each other's eyes, we can then begin to bridge the gap
between the limited expectations and the reality
of blind abilities.